Everybody, it's a Monday. Welcome to my channel. It's Ruth here at Artful Stampin, and I wanted just to acknowledge what was going on in the world at the moment and make something appropriate. I also want to bring your attention to a friend of mine who has direct links with people that she used to work in the Ukraine. She's got friends out there who are sheltering, and if you were wondering how you could directly help, then I'm going to be putting up a email address that you can directly PayPal, and she is sending money directly to people who need it, who are sheltering at the moment from the bombings and things. So I'm just gonna pop her email here, and if anyone was just wondering how they can help, please just PayPal her. Right, so I saw an interesting fold, and I've just been trying to figure out how I'm going to do it, on one of my a team page that I'm a member of, my Uplines team page, and I think I've kind of figured out how to do it. I think. Anyway, we're going to experiment and see what happens. And then I asked the lady what the name of the fold was, and it directed me to a video by Scrimping Mummy. So I'm doing a version that's similar to that, I think. But if you want to see the original version, just go ahead and look up Scrimping Mummy. Okay, so to make it easier to do the folds, I'm going to trim down my A4 cardstock and then hopefully make my life a bit easier. So, let me cut it this way. So I'm going to trim this down to 28 centimetres, which is about 11 inches. So you guys in the States, you don't need to do anything because your cardstock is already this size. And then I'm going to score at 7, which is 2 3/4 inches. Then 14. I should really flip it over to do that. I think this makes it a bit easier. 14, and then at 21. So that would be. Hold on, I'll get you the inches in a second. So that would be 2 3/4, 5 1/2, and then 8 1/4. All right, and then cut your cardstock in half. Okay. And then you're able to do a bit of a concertina fold. Okay, I'm just going to share that PayPal address again with you for those of you who've just joined. This is the email address of a friend of mine who has direct links to people who are in need in the Ukraine, who are sheltering at the moment from bombings, who are supporting people trying with transportation, and also will be supporting those who are also fleeing at the moment. So if you haven't donated already and you would like to help but know that the money is going to go directly to help people, then please go via that link I've just sent, the email address I've just sent, and just PayPal that email address. Okay, so then I think what happens is that we then put extra a piece on here, and then another panel on there. Then I think it then is supposed to. I'm not sure about this. Maybe that isn't quite right. Maybe it's that way. Yeah, maybe it's that way. Right, I'm going to cut another panel, sorry, another piece that's going to be stuck on the top. But now what I'm going to do is actually decorate this piece. So I know it sounds like I don't know what I'm doing. It's because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm kind of going by what I've seen and trying to figure it out. So then I'm going to cut another piece, 10.5. It's going to be very sturdy, this card. And I'm going to cut this to 14. Now the one I saw was sort of like a diamond shape, but I wanted to make use of the whole card, so I didn't want to cut it down into diamonds. You can do that if you want to. Right. Is that right? Yeah, that's going to get stuck onto there. Not sure about this. Oh yeah, that's it. Got it. Yep. Okay. So basically I'm cutting a piece that's going to stick onto those sections. Actually, I might just stick it so that you can see where we're heading with it, and then you won't be all as flummoxed as I am. So this is basically the base. So once I'm going to actually be doing some stamping and then sticking some onto this. So there we go. Oh, Anne. Oh, yeah. Our local Polish community are collecting supplies to be sent over there, or sent over, I think maybe to Poland as well, to help with the refugees that are coming over. Yeah. Oh, do you want it in centimetres, Martina? Yeah, basically it's 10.5 by 14. That's what I've created here. Oh no, not that one. This one. And so I've cut the cardstock at 28 wide and scored every 7 centimetres. All right, so it's pretty easy. So I'm then sticking this to this panel. Yep. Stay in place. There we go. It's probably easier to do it this way. Flip that over and stick that to that. Okay, so it makes a panel that stands like that. And then I'm not sure if it's better to do this one this way. Yeah, just not sure. Anyway, this panel is then going to stick onto here. Oh, that moved. Oops. Oh well, this is the first time me doing it, so you'll have to forgive my boo-boos. This is going to go onto here. It's going to be very dramatic, this card, when I'm finished with it, I think. It's getting there. Hi, Lorraine. Oh, Lorraine, this is late for you. I had a lovely email from Lorraine today, and we were trying to figure out whether or not we've met before, but I think we decided we hadn't. Lorraine's in the UK, and we've got some sort of church connections, haven't we, Lorraine? And what an unusual name, Lorraine. I've never seen it or heard it spelt that way before. Okay, that's how it's meant to end up, guys. So it can be, you can display it either, you can have these 2 panels at the front, like that, or you can have it at the back. Now, as I said, the ones I saw had bits cut out. They were like diamonds, which you could do. I mean, you might think that actually looks better, but I just like the idea of the drama of having the really big panels. I might just cut this down a little bit. It's not folding out properly. Just going to cut a slither off that end. Oh, no. If I start doing that, it's all going to go wrong, isn't it? I might actually, I know what, let's cut, I'll cut 2 centimetres off both sides. It's easier to calculate for later. So these are going to be 10 centimetres wide now, not 14, because I've taken 2 centimetres off that. Just need to score that a bit better. That's not wanting to sit flat. Okay, right, let's get on with some stamping now. So I wasn't sure what I was going to do. All I know is I want to use the Ukrainian colours, and I want to make a panel that will sit onto here. And so I will do it at least 10 centimetres high. Now, whether or not I'm going to be able to get... actually, I'm going to do it 9.5 because I want to stick a panel. I'm going to do another matting layer in between, I think. So for those of you who've just joined, I'm just sharing with you the email address that you can PayPal some funds to my friend who has got friends in the Ukraine that she's helping. Please don't feel you have to. It's just that I know sometimes when people want to donate to organisations, they're not quite sure who to do it to and whether the money's going to get there. Whereas I saw this, my friend has actually been out into the Ukraine and done work out there and got friends out there who she's trying to help. So there we go. Right. So I did get the sunflowers out because this is the national flower of the Ukraine. I thought that would be appropriate. So, I wondered whether to actually do some heat embossing on this, maybe in white. That would be quite dramatic, wouldn't it? I think I might just do a bit more yellow. There we go. Full on yellow, isn't it? I did, Martina, yep. Right, so let's see if I can find my little embossing buddy. It was here the other day because I used it. So I'm just using this to get rid of any moisture, as I've just inked that up. And I'm going to get the Versamark ink, which is a fabulously sticky ink. It's great for when you want to do heat embossing. I definitely want a big one somewhere near the middle, I think. Then maybe one on the side. Hi, how is everyone? So I did go live earlier today, if you missed that one, because I know Glenna was at work. And I stamped a wreath for Janine's birthday. So if you like the sea and you like butterflies, I managed to combine the two. Okay, right. Here we go. Now, where's the white embossing powder? Just use this scrap of card, or paper rather, to collect all my extra powder. That looks nice, doesn't it? Nice and dramatic. Now, I've noticed that on Instagram, some very prominent card makers are using the hashtag Cards for Ukraine. Now, I'm not involved in any auction or anything for cards. I know Jennifer Maguire, Tim Holtz, people like that have been using that hashtag. But I think anything that just helps people be aware of what's going on, I think is really good. So I was wondering whether or not I should auction this card off, but I think it's probably just a little bit too complicated. So I'd rather just, as I've been doing, giving the email address to donate to my friend who's got direct links with Ukraine and folks out there. Right, so I've been looking at this thinking, what else can I do to it? And I was wondering whether to go in with some water and just try and disperse some of this ink, or maybe go in with my chalk pen and see what happens if I do something to it that way. So I don't know, let's have a little play in the corner and see what happens. So I've got my chalk pen here, and just adding a bit of this chalk pen to that. Oh, look, it looks good. I think it looks good anyway. Now, since I last used a chalk pen on a live, I've been storing them upside down, which is what I was saying to you guys. You need to try and remember to do. So it's working pretty good. That's pretty nice, isn't it? It's got almost like a bleaching effect without bleaching. I've seen that technique being done recently and I thought, oh, I must have a go with that bleaching effect. It's so cool. You basically just stamp with bleach, or you use watered down bleach to paint in on cardstock. It just looks so effective. Oh, this is so good. I'm going to leave that middle because it looks so cool. Right, who's ever done this with their chalk pen? What techniques do you guys do with this pen? It's such a little thing, but it's mighty in impact. Now, I'm wondering if I am starting to lose its efficiency. I've used it now for a few minutes and it's, I don't know, is it still as impactful as there? Yeah, it is, I think. I'm just going to swap out to a different one. Yes, store it, nib down. That's what I do. So it's already ready to go. And then as I'm using it, I am kind of cleaning the nib off every so often because it just wants to pick up that blue because it's such a dark colour and it reactivates it somewhat. So there we go. Ooh, I like that. I'm just going to do a few little bits of dottage on the blue. Oh, and on the yellow. So did you know you can actually draw your own dottage? You don't actually have to stamp it. just doing a few dots, random. I think I want to do some little hearts as well. Would this be as effective if I used a blender pen and white craft ink? That's a good question. I do not know. Please have a go and let me know. The other way I saw that people are supporting, especially crafters in the Ukraine, are those people who've got Etsy accounts who are selling patterns and things. via Etsy. It's a great way to support their business. So if you are an Etsy user and you know of anybody that who creates digital patterns that can be bought, then please do share on Artful Stampin Space in the discussion group. Actually, I might just start a whole post to do with the Ukraine, and then people can share ideas of ways to support any work that's happening out there. Okay, so I'm going to cut this down to 14 centimetres. One can go there. And then, what have I got left? Oh, so I cut that down to 16, so do 8 and 8. 8. There. So I'm wondering if I just cut off unless I cut that shorter there. I'm wondering whether about doing another border with Pacific Point or something, make it really bold. Oh, I'd lose it though, don't we? Oh, what about a thin granny apple green? It would make sense to have a bit of green, wouldn't it? Just a really thin amount. That's nice, isn't it? So what's that? So cut that to 10. And 13. Oh, what did I do wrong there? Oh, it should have been at 13 and a half. Okay, fair enough. I will tell you the official measurements once I've figured this all out, because I've obviously been just figuring out as I've gone along. And so, what's that? 8. So that should be 8 and a half. What's that? 9 and a half. 10. Okay. So 8. So this should be 8 and a half. Yeah, the black I think probably would be a little bit too dark. I'm going to trim the sides of this down so it fits perfectly. Yeah, green is the colour of life. I'll stick to the green as well because of that. Right, so this is, what's this, 8.5. So I want to cut this panel down to 9. So I need to cut off 0.5 centimetre from both sides. Sorry about this faffing around with these measurements. As I said, I've not done this before, and I had this sort of idea in my head of where I was heading, and it was an adaptation of something I'd seen. So I'm kind of just winging it, as you know I sometimes do, most of the time. I babble. Oh dear. Well, as I say, I make the mistake, so you don't have to. Hopefully there's less winging it on your part once you've seen me make my mistakes. So, right, let's glue this all together. I wouldn't mind trying like a circular version as well. You have circles, or even butterflies. I don't know. Bit too much glue then. Right, is there anything left in here? Just about. There are so many wings to that card, I'm fascinated. Bob, did you get my email today? It's important you respond. So I have got some spaces in a class that I'm doing tomorrow night, if anyone's interested. I'm doing a wreath class at 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. my time, which is basically now minus 4 hours, if you're watching this on the live. And also I've got a class on Wednesday morning my time, again to do the wreath stamping. And it's 10 a.m. my time to catch anyone in the UK or Europe, and also the Australians, because it'll be evening their time, 8-9 o'clock-ish for them. So if anyone's interested, please email me as soon as possible, because I've already sent invoices out and I'm sending out Zoom information this evening. I have been doing that already, so let me know. And then the next class I'm thinking of scheduling would be maybe the one based using the white ink. That's one that I have done that people are interested in doing. So it's various techniques using the craft white ink. Right, I'm wondering whether just to try and darken some of the centres of these a bit more. So, I wonder whether to use pumpkin or a light cinnamon cider. Now, no, I'm not going to do it with the alcohol pens. And do you know why, ladies and gentlemen, we're not going to do it with the alcohol pens? Because the alcohol pen will mark my lovely white ink that I've just done, the embossed ink, and I will not be able to get it off because it's alcohol based. So I'm going to go in instead with, what's this? This is Mango Melody, a Mango Melody pen. This is the Stampin' Right marker, and because this is water based, I'm able to colour over the top of the white embossing. And where is my little tissues? There we go. And then all I need to do is give that a little clean, and of course all the ink that's just sitting on top of the white embossed area will come clean off. So there we go. I'm glad I figured that one out before I did it. Oh, lovely, Cheryl. Glad you got to enjoy some time in your craft room. Now for the blue one, I think I'll use Pacific Point. see if this is going to show up darker. Just a little bit darker, you know, just so that there's a bit of a difference between the centre and the borders, not the border, the background. I quite like this brushed effect. It's kind of quite artsy, almost like a Rothko painting, isn't it? And me too, I was screaming at my screen, no! Oh, you guys are great. Right, I'm also going to get a bit of the Granny Apple Green and pop that onto the leaves, seeing as we have already got that bit of green on there as well. Enjoy the green. And because I've already put down that white chalk pen, it's actually making the green on this blue section really pop. Whereas normally if I was to use a green marker on top of blue, it would just disappear in. So because we've already gone over with the white chalk, it looks fantastic. Can you see that? See how it really shows? So there we go. Yes, very Van Gogh, isn't it? Right, so let's see if I can get this to do what it's meant to do. Yeah, so the idea is that it sort of sits. So I know you can't see how it's sitting, but I'll try and do that. So it kind of sits like a really fabulous sort of triptych, really, like that. That's the idea. Now it should fold up. She says. Or maybe. Oh, no, maybe just easier to fold it backwards. Yeah, fold it backwards, and then your friends will just have a great time figuring out what the heck to do with it, especially if they're not really crafters. You know, I think sometimes we have to send instructions with our cards to our friends to say how to display them. But I think this is easily overcomable. I think if I'd cut that a little bit smaller, maybe did it 12 centimetres instead of 14, I think this would fold up much easier, because this would actually, this section here would fold over. But because I haven't been very precise in the way that I've stuck it together, it just doesn't want to do that. But I mean, the other option is that you can display it that way, like that, so that you get a view like that of the card. It's like that would look super cool, actually. There we go. Well, I didn't expect that to turn out as well as it did. But there we go. And I think, sorry, I do think it's fitting for a masculine card. It's just a really kind of fun, bright, happy card. And yes, it's got sunflowers, but, you know, many male gardeners grow sunflowers, don't they? And they enjoy them just as much as anybody else. So I do think this is quite a fitting one for Masculine Monday. So, right. So if you're wondering what the email address it is that I've pinned at the top, it's an email address that you can PayPal to donate to helping Ukrainians who are sheltering at the moment, who are finding it hard to get out. They're trying to stay safe. My friend shared pictures this evening of friends who don't even know if their apartment is still standing, because a lot of their city has been bombed. And so what she's doing is she's directly sending funds so that they can, when they can get out to buy food, they're able to go and get food. So I just thought I'd like to share links of people who are directly helping, rather than I mean, I know charities have their place and so forth, but I just thought if anyone's interested in helping somebody directly, they can do that through that email address. Right, now what's the time? I didn't know whether to do something else. I did fancy using this one. I'm doing just some stamping, but again, just some bright, happy kind of colours. And maybe do another swipey background, but this time I'll do it mainly yellows. I'll use some Saffron and some Daffodil Delight and maybe some Bumblebee. May as well enjoy Bumblebee while we still have it, because this is going to be retiring later on. Hi Elena, today was a very tough aim. Yes, indeed, indeed. What was that, Inika? About? Oh, yes, about Australia. There's people affected by flooding as well. Yeah. Hi, Mary Beth. Okay, so we've got a bit of Saffron going on now. So I'm just going to do some swiping. Oh, this is not the not the darkest of ink pads. This needs re-inking. I think I've done this technique too many times with this. Oh well. It is what it is, as they say. My goodness. You know your ink pad's dry when it doesn't even want to swipe. Oops. Oh dear. Oh, yeah. Daffodil Delight's all right. I think I re-inked that recently. So that's happy. It's in a happy place, my Daffodil Delight. But look, I'm using that ink up quick, aren't I? Right, here's some Bumblebee. There we go. Get that on. Right, so lots of happy yellow on there. Got the blue and thinking some old olive. Old olive is such a great go-to green, isn't it? Let's get some of these stems on. And get my mat out, because of course this is photopolymer stamps and they don't have that extra cushioning that the rubber stamps do, so they love it having a bit of cushioning underneath instead. So be nice to your photopolymer stamps and help them out a little bit. So let's just think, you know, fields of grass and a sunset and, you know, just lots of billowing fields of something. I don't know what flower this is, but I'll just gonna make it up. That's nice, isn't it? I like that. Those pads are parched. Yes. Oh, thank you, Elena. Are you new to my channel? I've not noticed your name before. Welcome. Okay, so some more old olive here, but a different type of leaf. So, and I'm doing the sort of stamping off technique where you kind of stamp the first generation and then stamp a second one and then a third one if you've got the ink left on there. It just helps to make your pictures look a bit more depthful, in depth. Does that make sense? Like there's more going on. Stuff going on in the background. Right, give that a clean. Okay, Elena. You're very welcome. Let's have lots of blue and yellow hearts, please, and keep praying, keep praying. You know, it was interesting the other day. I was listening to my Bible reading, and it was one of the Psalms. Actually, I should get it up what it was. Anyway, it was just a reminder about how God's in control, and you know, humans think that they are, but they're not really. You know. Yeah. Not that I would compare my occasional back pain with you sufferers, but every time I have it, my consolation is I know I have a backbone. Oh, that's so true, Martine. Indeed. I think whenever we have these ailments, we should be grateful that we have those things. Yes, at least. Yes. Okay, so we're getting some nice bits of grass on here. So I'm stamping and stamping again. Now, I really would like some pale grass in the distance, but the reason why I'm not stamping and going up again is because I've stamped off the page a little bit, and I'd get a green line, and I don't want a green line. So I'm deliberately not stamping second generation higher up. I'll go back in and do some. So what I'm going to do is stamp off and then stamp up there, because unfortunately this stamp design is very straight along the bottom. So I know what, I'm just going to tap it and get rid of some of that straightness, because I just don't want it. And I'm trying to sort of do some higher up, some lower down, so it's not uniform, because I think that can be the case when you're stamping. You know, we're so grateful to have these beautiful stamps so that we don't have to sit and, you know, paint every single element. But the challenge then is to make your artwork look unique. So these little tricks, like just cleaning off bits and doing second generation stamping, just helps to make your piece look just a bit different. So, oh, forgot to clean this one off. Thank you, Miss Glenna. Okay, so let's pop that away. So then we have these pieces here. Got lots of these lovely different bits and bobs to create floral elements. So I know what, should we do this in Pacific Point? Now it's a case of then of finding which one goes with which. I think that goes on that one. Okay, let's start there. Oops, I'm dropping stamps. Get rid of the old olive for a moment. Okay, I think I'm going to turn it just to make it a bit easier for me to see what's going on. Oh, I put a bit too much ink on that one. Looks like the sun is setting. It does, doesn't it, Annie? Oh, right, now that one goes on there. So just take a moment to line up the stamps if that's the look you want. So I've got that one lined up, and then of course I want to have there's a second generation stalk there, so I'm going to just attempt to line it up. I'm not being really strict and trying to do it as strictly as the first one. I'm just going to kind of roughly get it in the right place. And then where's the other one? Oh, I don't know, somewhere around there. Just pop that there, down there. So this is a really lovely set in that it's got a kind of watercolor feel. I'm not sure if this is a distinctive one. Linda will tell me. She loves her distinctive stamps. So they deliberately put some sort of added texture on these, so they're not completely solid, and you just get this lovely sort of slightly see-through effect, which is really nice. Hi, Dawn. Oh, take care, Reet. Sleep well. Okay. I'm liking that. It kind of looks like a lovely watercolour that I've not watercoloured. Right, then we've got these little ones. Now, are these meant to go... Oh, that's meant to go on top of there. Oh, okay. Shall I do that on a bit of misty moonlight? We'll take it up a notch. Now, if this doesn't work, I might have to get the old Night of Navy out. So the idea is that you pop this on top of... Ooh. Isn't that nice? Ooh, that is pretty. Oh, I like that. I don't think I've lined these up properly. I've just used the flowers like more randomly. Okay, so this one, I think. Is that meant to line up? You know what? I'm going to make the decision it doesn't have to line up. It's just going to be what it is. Okay, just going to do a bit of... There we go. I'm not thinking about it too much, guys. I'm just going to stamp that on. We don't want it looking completely uniform, do we? Actually, I'm going to turn it this way and just do some across like that. I've got to clean my stamp though. Keep pushing too hard into this ink pad. You've got to be very gentle with this so that you don't get ink where it's not meant to be. It's literally just touching the ink pad. You don't have to push down hardly at all. There we go. Oh, isn't that pretty? I think maybe just a little bit of dottage, but done with white. Let me just find this stamp here with some white ink. Thank you, Inika. Oh, have you got this one yet, Amanda? Nice to see you. Oh, I didn't clean this stamp off from earlier. I've made my pad pink. Oops. Oh, well. Okay, start again. Right. So I'm just going to hold it gently. Oh, it's very delicate. It's not obvious. There we go. Yeah, I'm not sure if you guys are going to pick this up on the camera, but anyway, it is there, honest. Very, very delicate. I mean, it is as if there's just sort of like pollen flying through the sky, really. You know, that is the effect. that we're going for. There we go. Everyone look! Oh, you can see it. Oh, there we go. Get it to focus. Come on. Yeah, it is there. I also just noticed I've got this stamp here. Oh, I did have this stamp here. Can I leave it out? Oops, not put it away. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh. I was trying to tidy up my stamps from earlier and I obviously forgot to put that one away. Oh dear. Oops. I wonder where it's gone. Honestly, you should have seen my desk earlier. I had stamps everywhere. Right. Ooh, where that's gone then? Oh well. What if we use a chalk pen? Hi Sue. I just want some sort of strands of grass, really. Blades of grass. Just like where the sunlight's caught it and you can just sort of see it. That's the look I'm going for. I'm just stroking some lines right across my finger, obviously, because that's the way to do it. Now, how are we going to use this to make a card? Come on, ideas on a postcard, please. I mean, do we do some sort of fun fold with this? Oh, actually, holding it at the end of the pen gives much lighter strokes. A bit too exuberant there, Ruth. Okay, the blob of blue ink on the right hand side of the grid paper looks like a lady. On here or here? Oh, this lady. What if I do that? Yes, there we go. She looks like she's got her arms folded there. Right. Ooh, now this will be good. What could I do for this? So I'm having a think. I'd frame it. It says Dawn. Oh, that's very sweet of you. Well, I mean, we can make a card. Could do a column card. Or a gatefold. So if I score at how wide is this? Oh, that's 10.5. Okay. If I cut this at 12.5. A pinwheel. Oh, how would you do that? Okay, so I'm going to score again, doing the whole good 7, 14. Oh no, not 14. Score at 7, 21. We're going to do a gatefold. 21 and cut at 28. So for you in the States, that would be, well, those of you who use inches, rather, not just you in America. So that would be 2 3/4, 5.5. Sorry, no, score at 2 3/4, then 8 1/4, and cut at 11 inches, and that would get you your gatefold there. But it doesn't look very straight. And then this we're going to cut, and again do a little wee border. So this was 7, so cut this at 6. Now, do we want it to meet in the middle? Yeah, let's have it meet in the middle. So we'll cut the 2 side panels to go on the edge, like that. And then we'll have this cut at 13. And that's a spare bit. And again, I'm wondering whether to frame it in the green. Oh, I'm going to have to cut a bigger piece. But yeah, framing it in the green might be really nice. So you have that in the middle. And that on either side, like that. That's nice, isn't it? And then maybe on the inside, some kind of like plain, more just a generic design. Now, unfortunately, celebration is now officially over. I'm just wondering if I've got anything I can use to put on the inside. Actually, I've got some. Sure, I've got something green. Oh, what about that blue? That's quite nice. Or I'm sure there's some greeny paper. Sorry about this. I thought there was a panel. Maybe I've used it up. Oh, was there any nice green in the Sunshine and Rainbows paper? Again, this is now not available. It's just celebration is just finished. Oh yes, there we go. That can just sit on the inside. Actually, I might be able to use this to do my pieces. There we go. Waste not, want not. What's that? Oh, that's 11.5. Oh, okay. Right, let's cut that at 12. So 12 by 13.5. Nice. Do this at 13.5 again. This time cut at 6.5. And before I cut, I'm going to double check just in case I'm wrong. Oh, why did I cut that back? Oh, you silly mare. It's supposed to be 12. Okay. I bet I've done this wrong as well. So this is going to be 6.5. I think I've cut that too small. Or have I? Oh no, that's all right. Right. Finally got there. Okay, yeah, no, I think that pattern paper is probably just enough. I was wondering whether to stick some pattern paper on the inside, but I don't think I need it really. Oh, where's that other piece gone? What do you think? That'll do, won't it? And then that'll open like that. We could put some, oh, I've got a sunshiny. I don't know, I think that jars. No, that's too, it's a bit too funky, that pattern, compared to what I've just stamped. So we'll leave that one. Careful about the direction. Oh, hold on, let's have a look. Oh, yes. Oh, you're right. Oh, well, we've got them going in the same direction that way. It just goes in the opposite direction that way. Yeah, because I cut it that way, didn't I? Oh, well. We won't mention it. Yeah, just won't mention it. Hi, Janice. Oh, Janice, I'm so sorry. I haven't got round to doing the Stamp Around UK video. Ooh. I remembered at the beginning of the weekend, and then I got to today and thought, oh no, I didn't get round to doing it. So I'm just going to enjoy watching everybody else's. So if you don't know what the Stamp Around UK vlog hop is, then do follow Janice at Jazzle Dazzle Crafts, because at 6 o'clock tomorrow night, she, alongside some other UK demonstrators, are doing a vlog hop. And I'm not going to spoil it and tell you what the theme is. You'll just have to come back and see tomorrow. Anyway, I won't be doing it because I forgot. Well, I remember too late. Does that count as forgetting? Remembering too late? Because technically I did remember. I just didn't remember on time. Yes, Esther does it as well. Yes, I do think these are masculine flowers. You know, that I would give this card to a guy, because they're more on the artistic side, aren't they? They're less sort of feminine, like pinks and roses and all that kind of thing. Although some guys do like roses. You laughing at me, Janice? Trying to squirm my way out of it. Right, so thank you so much for joining me today, guys. I forgot earlier when I did the wreath to go through all the stamp sets. However, I have updated the description, and it's got the list of stamp sets and inks that I used on there now. But I will try and remember and to go through what I've used today. What I remember. Very Van Gogh, yes. Yes, Esther does take part in that vlog hop too. So if you follow Esther, if you follow Janice, I'm trying to think. Wendy does do it occasionally, but I think she's had quite a busy week, so she probably won't be doing it. Right, there we go. Right, I've got 2 cards then, inspired by and very much a reminder of thinking of and praying for Ukraine currently. So we've got this first one, which is a bit of a fancy fold. It's sort of based, now let me see if I can find the name of it. The diamond, oh, hold on, bear with. I just need to go and find the name of it. It is called the Triple Floating Diamond card. Okay, so that's the card that Scrimping Mummy, so if you don't follow Scrimping Mummy, she does quite a bit of sort of junk journal, shabby chic type stuff. And she's recently done a card that sort of uses this format where she's done a diamond. She's cut it that way, but I decided to have it like this because I wanted to show off the stamping that I did. So you can sort of choose to display it in all sorts of different ways. Well, there's 2 different ways you can display it, which is quite fun. So there we go. And then this one is just, I got the ink pads and I swiped Saffron, Bumblebee and Daffodil Delight, and then did some stamping. So this one, again, swiped Daffodil Delight and Pacific Point, and then stamped and heat embossed with white embossing powder. Celebrate Sunflowers, I used those 2. And this stamp set is called, this one here is called Wildflower Path. And that's the one that I used for that. And then used the dots from Quiet Meadow to do a little bit of stamped pollen with the white ink pad, the pigment white ink pad. Oh, and I've realised I'm down to 5%, so I better hurry up and finish what I'm saying, otherwise I'm going to disappear. There we go. So inks, I used, as I said, Pacific Point, which is a really good one, really nice vibrant blue. And for this card I used Daffodil Delight, but then on this card I used a bit of Saffron, Daffodil Delight and Bumblebee, although my Saffron's running out. And then I also used Old Olive to stamp the plants on this one, and then made great use of the craft white, the Stampin' chalk marker. So craft white ink was used for stamping, but the chalk marker was fantastic for colouring in over the top of the inked cardstock. And then I did go over it and use my Stampin' Right markers, which are the water-based markers, to do some bits of colouring just to highlight different areas. So there's the Old Olive, Pacific Point and Daffodil Delight there. No, not Daffodil Delight, Mango Melody, just to make that a bit darker. Right, is there any questions? A one sheet wonder would be nice doing it like the first card. Yes, of course. Yeah, you could just keep swiping, basically. Get a whole sheet of card and then just swipe, and then heat emboss with the white embossing powder. That's you know, yeah, that'd be great, especially if you're going to make more than one, because I was just designing it to make one. I just did it on a little piece. But yeah, definitely, Anne, go for it. Hi Heidi. Okay, are there any questions? So the link that I put up earlier and is pinned is for a friend of mine who is taking PayPal donations and directing the money directly to folks in need in the Ukraine. So if anyone would like to donate to her, I absolutely vouch for her. I've known her since, like, we were childhood friends, and I'm not in a lot of contact with her anymore, but we were both our families were good friends many years ago, and she's a wonderful Christian young lady and has done work out in the Ukraine. So it's up to you if you want to donate, but if anyone was just wondering how they could help people, then please do that. Love the dottage and the hearts on the sunflower card. Oh yes, do you like my hand painted dottage, Glenna? There we go, got a nice little triptych happening here. Right, there we go. Thank you for joining me, everybody. Lovely to see you all, and have a great end to your February, and happy March for those of you in Australia. Yay. So also just to be aware that you can purchase, there's a stamp set going to be available from tomorrow that's got a lovely gorgeous like wave on it, and it's like a sea themed one, and it's got some dies. It's like an early release. So, oh excuse me, you may have seen some demonstrators work with it, I haven't had my hands on it yet, but I am very, very tempted to get it. So Martina's already in March. Oh, she can order it already then. Oh, actually, she could order it anyway because she's a demonstrator. But there we go. Right, lots of love to you all. Thank you. God bless. Bye.